Magnus and Hakon ruled their lands of Orkney and defended them for some time, the two agreeing well, until it happened that men of evil disposition were found, who destroyed their good understanding. Hakon was more disposed to believe these miserable men, because he was jealous of the popularity and the greatness of his cousin Magnus. Both went to Wrigley, where they drew up their men in battle array and prepared to fight. But friends of both were there, and as well-disposed men joined together to avert hostilities and sport neither against the other. They confirmed their reconciliation with oaths and shaking of hands. A short time after this, Earl Hakon, with hypocrisy and fair words, appointed a day of meeting so that their friendship and newly made peace should be neither destroyed nor disturbed. They would meet in springtime at Wrigley. Earl Magnus was well pleased with this. They both would swear to keep the peace on conditions proposed by the wisest of men, and each would take 2 ships. Earl Magnus chose all those men whom he thought would make matters smoothest between them. But it is told of Earl Hakon that he gathered a numerous army and many ships prepared as if for battle. Earl Magnus arrived first in Wrigley, and when he and his men saw Earl Hakon coming, they saw that he had 8 warships. Then Magnus suspected that Hakon intended to act treacherously against him. He and his men walked along the shore into the church and prayed. His men offered to defend him, but he said, "I will not put your lives in danger for mine. And if peace cannot be made between us, then let it be as God wills." He had a mass made for himself and prayed devoutly. In the morning, Earl Hakon and his men ran up to the church and ransacked it, but they did not find the Earl. When Earl Magnus perceived that they looked for him, he called out and thus let it be known where he was. And so Hakon and his men ran thither with loud yelling and clamour of weapons. Earl Magnus finished his prayer, signed the sign of the cross, and said, "You did not do well, cousin, when you broke your oaths. And I think it is likely that you are put to this more by men more wicked than yourself. Now I will make you 3 offers, that you will rather choose one of them than slay me who am innocent. The first is that I go to the Holy Land, or to Jerusalem, taking 2 ships, and there take benefits for both of our souls, and promise never to return to the Orkneys." This offer was promptly rejected. Now that I am in your power, the second is that you will send me with mutual friends, to mutual friends in Scotland, with 2 companions, and there to have me kept in courtesy and make assurance that I cannot leave that prison. This offer too was rejected. I will make you yet one more offer, and God knows I care more for your soul than my own life. Let me be maimed or deprived of my eyes and put in a dark dungeon. This offer I accept, said Earl Hakon, But the chief started up and said, "There will not be from this day 2 chiefs alive in Orkney. Slay him then, I would rather have earldom and land than instant death." Earl Magnus was cheerful as a man invited to a feast, and offered words neither of offence nor of anger. He fell on his knees and prayed. And Hakon ordered his banner bearer to slay the earl, but he refused with utmost wrath. Then ordered he Lifof the cook, but he began to weep aloud. "Weep not thus," said Magnus, "for you do this against your will. Fear not, and he that forces you to it sins more than you." After he'd said that, he took off his tunic, and he gave his tunic to Lifof. Then he fell on the ground, gave himself to God, and prayed that his angels would come and meet his soul and take it to the peace and repose of paradise. And then, when the friend of God was taken to the place of execution, he said to Lifof, "Stand before me, and hew me a mighty blow on the head. For it is not fit that high-born chiefs should die like these." Then he made the sign of the cross, stooped under the blow, and his soul passed into heaven.